All right. I'm here with Mike on the Red Belt podcast. So, Mike Jits, or tell us your real name, Mike. And
My name's my name's Mike Tracey, man. That came from back in 2014. I had got custody of my kids, man. I was diving, got custody of my kids, and got on this little social media platform called Facebook. And I was like, man, you could use this for a form of promotion. So my name on there was Mike Fence, right? Because I was selling fence. I was the guy who sold fence. I was on the fire department, so I just remember Mike Fence, the guy who sells fence. So I left it with that, and then opened my school, and I threw Jits in the middle of it. So it was Mike. I was doing both at the same time, right? I think, not I think, in Fight to Win 66, the commentators go in and say something of that sort. Oh, your local fence guy competing. And so I just put Mike Jits Fence in there. And then when I went full-fledged into running the school, I dropped the fence section, and it just stayed Mike Jits. And as cliche and douchey as it is, it kind of just stuck. So I was like, fuck it, I had to be at least one of the first ones to do it. You know what I mean? So that's how that came to be. But yeah, my name's Mike Tracey, man. Isaac Tracey, my son, Ryder Tracey, and then I got a plethora of other little kids out there. So step kids, but I call them mine. But yeah, that's how that came to be, man.
all right, so you sold fences and you also sold mats for a little bit. Tell us about all the different entrepreneurial things you've also done. Uh,
I mean, yeah, dude. The so all that kind of happened. So I was a commercial diver, man, offshore, doing diving, and that came into Harvey. When Harvey hit, a lot of people lost mats in Houston, and I knew a manufacturer, and they got down and we're building some mats. So I just started pushing them out and put a little third party together for those guys, and was moving mats at a time. I mean, we outfitted a lot of gyms, and as business does as goes, the manufacturer seen us making money, was like, oh man, let's get ourselves in there. So they started their own division of mat sales. So I still throw them people, and we go back and forth. But it was cool, man. I've definitely outfitted about close to 300 different gyms, man. There's a bunch of cells in there, but yeah, I did that all mainly just to help people out, do a quick connection that was fast, and it was easy, ready to go. And then when COVID hit, it really hurt that market really bad, dude. The shipping changed, the quality of products changed. People weren't standing behind what they would say on manufacturing time. It just kind of it really hurt that industry for those guys. So I was like, man, I got to get my name off of this. So I just made an exit point at that point, man, and it was good. Everybody got taken care of. Everybody got anything that they needed back, and we stood up to that. So it's business, right? I got my kids. I got full custody of my kids. I couldn't dive offshore no more, so I started building fence. I know I can build boat docks and underwater platforms, so let's go build some fence. So I did that, and then getting your kids changes your lives. Prior to that, I dabbled and dabbled in different drugs, and definitely wasn't sober for the part. And then coming into that, your life changes when you get on the right path, dude. And I think it takes all those different adventures, I say, right? Whether it be a business adventure or working for somebody or something, you have to have those experiences to become a man of integrity, And I'd say the only thing I've done right is raise my kids and keep them in jiu-jitsu, dude. And it keeps everything on a level playing field with everybody, man. Even all the way down to your kids. Your kids know that you train, know that you get it on the mat. They know that you're being true and sincere. They see that, and they carry that off into their lives, So after all those ventures, now I'm focused on the nonprofit giving back, man. So it used to be about making money and putting dollars in my pocket and having people in the door and students in the gym, but it's really made full circle lately for that reason, just to give back.
all right, yeah, I mean, to be able to give back, you have to have something to give, right? So the whole point here is like of the of the podcast is I really want to help people with their gyms because they also help people in jiu-jitsu too, but this is very business owner focused, because if we can't be successful, we're not going to be able to help students. We're not going to be able to help our favorite charities. We're not going to be able to help our families, right? So the success is somewhat demonized sometimes by culture, but like if you're not successful, like the good comes from ability, right? So but yeah, we can get
Absolutely.
more into that a little bit later. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I've failed many times. You know what I mean? Especially even in the gym owner business. Definitely being with Alan Belcher and combat business was a big stepping stone for me with those guys. With almost 3 years diving into all of that. Internet marketing and understanding content and understanding your ROIs and your attrition rates. And, we just think, okay, open the doors, everybody's going to come. We're providing a good service, show up, and man,
Except for that doesn't work.
it does not work. We hope it to. And as gym owners, right? We want it like it sucks, dude. Like a perfect example, man. I had this kid, and we'll go into the more business side of it now. I really understand that you're here for the business. Yesterday, man, I had this kid, and he's been coming without his water bottle like 3 or 4 classes, right? I'm like, hey, man, I require 4 things at class: gi, flip flops, belt, water bottle, and your brain, open mind, right? So really only 4. Where's your water bottle at? And he's like, oh, my water pipes are busted. I haven't had water in 4 days. And I'm like, first thing I think of is like bullshit, But really, I know this kid don't lie to me. He's a little honest kid. He does things right. I'm like, all right, well, okay. So I went through it, and I asked the mom. I was like, hey, you don't got no water at the house? She's like, no, I haven't bought water in 10 years. I refuse to buy water. And I'm like, okay, so what are y'all drinking? Just juice. We've been drinking juice and milk. And this boy had been telling me this. It's been like a week now. I'm like, this kid has no water for an entire week, right? That's where the gym owner and the love for helping people come. It clashes because you still got to. I gave the kid my water bottle, badass little water bottle. I'm sure he'll give it back when he gets water in his house. But the fact, dude, I gave the kid one little water bottle, and he sucked it down in like 3 seconds, and I'm like, man, it's that. So that's what my mission is helping these little kids, right? And as a gym owner, how do I help these little kids, but also make it profitable, right? And I'm switching over to a nonprofit right now to be able to do that. I think there's more grant money, funding, and this is good. This is a good business call for that, but. I think we do a special forces jiu-jitsu program, right? And it's for special needs kids. And there's whether it be Down syndrome, on the spectrum, autism. Anyways, it's a full program we do, but the parents can't afford it, man. They can't afford that type. But there's a lot of money out there. There's a lot of money. There's a lot of grant money out there that you can provide as substitute. As long as you're giving back and what you're doing is true, then go get that money. Go get that help. Go get those funds that are available to help your program and help your coaches be able to pay them what they deserve, because you can't break the bank with those guys. I'm not cheap. We teach good jiu-jitsu, and I'm not going to change that, right? You don't want to water down the quality of what you're giving to everybody by just doing everybody through the door either. So it's a fine line right there to be able to do business, but also give back and have it all match up correctly.
So as far as you're talking about, okay, you're able to get funding. So you're not giving these people necessarily for free training, but they're not paying for it in some of the cases. So you're getting funding elsewhere. Do you have to be a nonprofit to get that funding? Or how did you go about getting that funding? How does that work for somebody that's interested in doing a program like that for people
For
that
sure.
can't afford it?
So you can operate under the nonprofit. So ours is the Third Coast Jiu-Jitsu Project, okay, and that's for anybody that has been domestic violence, women and children, and also anybody that's been a victim of any fentanyl things. Any mothers left with overdose. There's been a lot of overdoses of fentanyl close to my heart. So and at-risk youth. So that's how I grew up. It was pretty much all those three things minus the fentanyl these days, right? So it was the funding. nonprofit we have is specifically for that. Now, what we can do is branch off. So like we can say, hey, we also do the special forces side of this, and we can be the nonprofit for this, but you have this program, right? You have this set of program. You could do a AA program or an NA program on your mat to where you're getting some grant funding from the city and the state. So it does help. Is it a way to structure your business? Man, these days I say why it depends on what you're doing. Are you doing this to put dollars in your pocket? You know, there's two ways you go about doing business. It's either own everything or control everything, right? You can't really do both. No matter how big you get, you're gonna have people running CFOs and this and that. So like um, the motto is own nothing but control everything, right? The fact of the matter, if I die today, the government's getting 40%. They're going to sell the business, give my kids some, taxes will be this is it, and what's left. So what did I do all this for, right? What has been my purpose for everything that's happened? Right. If you put it in a nonprofit and set it up as the board members, something happens to me, then the new board members come in, and you can be your children, it can be your uncle, it can be your don't matter who it is. Nobody's profiting off this. Open books. You know what I'm saying? So, but it can support all those people as well, my man. And when you understand that, like if I have a coach here and a manager here and the front desk, I can help take care of this guy's rent. I could buy a house over here that's under the foundation's name. It's free. It's a tax write-off, right? Everything's tax free. So these two coaches could live in this house and all be under that foundation, and it never goes nowhere. Right. And I think that's whenever I figured that out, I was like, wow, that's what I want. Because ultimately we don't take nothing with us when we leave this bitch. You know what I mean? So I think it's very important to give it back, dude. You know, and I haven't always been like that. So it's been real recently that my brain has shifted into going that way. Recently, I lost my brother and some other close people in my life, and recently donated all my hair. I just donated 18 inches of my hair to cancer. And you know, they say as you get older, right, we get wiser, but you know, I say the first 40 was practice. I'm trying to play game now. It's game time. You know, game face is on. We're in the finals. You know, so yeah, there's stuff out there for everybody, man. When it comes to the nonprofit side, and you know, the biggest thing about I think martial arts in general is building your culture in the gym, dude. Get to the gym side of it. I opened this gym 2 years ago, right after COVID, and I got a dive contract, saved some money, and I based this gym on the culture of the gym, right? On who we hire, and I bring in people that are the same. Try to bring the same type of people in. You know, this is a big family, but also we're like almost 60. I'd say in the low 60s to mid 60% female. Across the board, and that's amazing to me. I never had so many females train. I had a gym with a gym partner in South Houston, and Alvin to be exact. But I never had so many females train. Like on the mat, sometimes it's like 14 girls and 5 guys. You know, and what is that from? It's from I think the culture of just giving back, knowing that we're here to give back, and that we're here for the better good, and not trying to just put a dollar in our pocket, you know.
Yeah. So a couple of things there that I wanted to touch on. One is so for business owners that are not wanting to go the route of a nonprofit, but are wanting to do maybe things for that. Maybe they want to donate stuff, or maybe they want to have these programs and use charity dollars to do it, use government grants to do it. Is that an option for, like, so you're getting that outside money to do these things? Is that an option for somebody that's a regular business owner that wants to have, like, so these programs you're talking about for developmental children with parents that can't afford it, for AA program, any sort of programs like that you may have? Could you do it if you weren't a nonprofit? Is there ways to do that?
Yeah, so that's what we're trying to do, man, is get everybody set up to where you can be like an affiliate for the Third Coast Jiu-Jitsu project, kind of like We Defy, right? So you say, hey, I got this student that his family, his dad passed away of fentanyl. The mom's left with 3 kids. They're good kids, you know, can we sponsor them? And then we would come in and sponsor them at your gym for like 3 months, first 3 months, gi in 3 months, right? And sponsor them like that. Now, if you're saying like gathering funds and doing fundraisers for that, well, yeah, of course. But more importantly, for if it's inside your own gym, I would say you'd have to have a nonprofit to get grant. You have to have a nonprofit to get any grant money or funding, right? But you could benefit from a nonprofit by having these programs in your gym, i.e., the Special Forces Jiu-Jitsu, right? And then we would pay the gym owner, right? That's just the same setup as like We Defy, okay? Just not so.
You've broken up a little bit here, Mike. Oh, you're muted. You're muted, Mike.
They get for a little bit, for a little bit, then they want to come back, and then they'll try it again, right? So it's one of those things where they come and go. So you're not going to pay for like a year in full, right, or 6 months in full. So 3 months here, 3 months there. That's the goal, the ultimate goal of the nonprofits. Yes, to get to that point. Are we anywhere close? No, not there. We are sponsoring some kids through the Third Coast Jiu-Jitsu project, through a couple different gyms for the domestic violence, but we keep those you know, who and where under the wraps of some there's some local gyms here that we help out, Corpus and Houston side.
Yeah, so there are programs like there's Adopt a Cop, there's different things that where there's usually requirements you got to follow, but where basically you can get, those are ones I'm aware of, that you can get funding, right, for your gym to do certain things. So you're saying that as far as, so your charity, you're trying to contribute to that to other gym owners, but as far as other places, there's not a lot of it that these gym owners could get, right? Is what you're saying?
Yeah, not really. It's, I mean, man, I think for the it's 2 separate sides, right? You have a nonprofit side of running a gym and a profit side. And I'm just now making the transition. This December will be the last time I'm going to shut the LLC down, right? So this will be my last transactions under LLC. So I'm making that move as we speak. One is taxes, dude. I'm tired of paying the man. Right? Sorry, but it's facts. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of paying. You know what it is. You're a gym owner or know a lot, right? And also, what are you working for? What are you working towards to pay that? And what's your insurance? Insurance has gone up, right? Since that dude got 46 million on the West Coast, I between me and you, and that's probably a good topic to talk about. I've dropped my insurance completely. I went and got a retainer. I retained a lawyer instead. I said, if I'm gonna be spending $450 a month, I'm gonna go retain a lawyer for $5,000 on the year. Right? I give that guy $5,000 for 1 year. That's my retainer's paid. My insurance is paid. Something happens, we're going to court anyways. You're gonna have to get a lawyer anyways. Your insurance isn't covering it. It's all those things. When it's under a nonprofit, what are you gonna sue the nonprofit? You can't. It's not. There's a binding there. You're not suing me personally, you know. So all those contributing factors, dude, just made me really say, I got to make
sure,
this.
but for all the viewers, check with your attorney about all of that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm not. I'm not telling you.
Same thing with some of us jiu-jitsu guys is like, we talk about, yeah, our arm was busted and whatever, and we went back and trained. Like, see your doctor before you do this, because sometimes we don't always make the best medical decisions.
Correct.
But yeah, so no, I get it. So one more factor on that, because I'm rather than the emotional side of it, I was kind of like the details of the nonprofit. So one thing is, so in terms of, you already talked about paying coaches, you pay yourself through the salary through the nonprofit?
I could. I don't right now because I got I'm also a commercial diver, and I got VA disability that comes in too. So that subsidizes me enough to where I don't want to pay the man, dude. I don't want to pay the man. No, I don't. I'm done. So yes, I used to before I was back diving and doing that. I would pay myself a weekly salary, $500 a week. Simple, just pretty much just paying bills, you know. But with the nonprofit, it's more about me worrying about what's going into the non. And dude, it can pay a lot. Okay, so it can pay, like I was talking before, it can pay people's rents, it can pay car payments, can pay insurance. The nonprofit can pay way more than the LLC with
Right.
taxes and funding, and
No, I get it. So I just wanted to clarify for the viewer what you're doing. I don't do that.
yeah,
If I'm doing that route personally, I would, and my gym myself have donated quite a bit to charities and things like that. But
for
I
sure,
just
yeah,
take the money, donate it. You can write it off, right? But there's
correct.
advantages of doing it this way. And basically, you could pay yourself a salary. I don't know that there's any rules whatsoever on how much it could be, right? So
There's
you can
not. There's not.
do
It's just
whatever. You would just have to pay taxes on that, right? So for these guys that don't have the other income, if they wanted to go that route, they can still. I mean, there's a whole industry. People go to college to work for profits. You can still
absolutely.
make a living for working for a nonprofit. That's still a thing. And what he's saying also is like as far as controlling everything, but like technically he's not the owner, right? So you can't sell or exit this business. But how many people sell their jiu-jitsu schools? Some. It's a conversation for another day, but like most people don't, right? So and I personally don't plan to. So I get what he's saying here, and that it's basically a tax choice, and it's part of his personal vision and stuff like that. So
And I got my kids involved, dude. You know, I got my son; he's a brown belt. I got my other son; he's a orange and black belt at jiu-jitsu. My kids have been doing jiu-jitsu since they were 4 years old, both 5 years old, both of them. Right? They teach. My son teaches most of the classes at the academy here. I want to open up another academy under the nonprofit. That'll be my other son will run that one. So I want to keep all that in the family without something happened to me, and then we're selling everything, and then you know what I mean. I've seen it.
right.
It happened in my own family. And we had a cattle ranch, and my family didn't take care of doing it right, and everything went to probate court. Then everything got split up. Taxes were paid. All these things that happened. That's what I don't want. I'm building this and doing this for my kids to have something and to help people and continue that legacy. You know, not to have it all go to the man.
Right. Well, that's what Jigaro Kano did too with the Kodokan. So that's the founding of judo, for people don't know. And the Kodokan remains successful today. And if he would have selected certain students to be owners or whatever, it may not have been that route, right? So instead, he may put everything under a nonprofit. And it's been, I forget how many, I mean, it's a 3-digit number of years, right? It's been
Yeah,
around,
it is.
Kodokan's been
Appreciate it.
around for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about just judo. That school of his is still there and very, very, very successful, and pays people, etc. But it's a nonprofit, and that did contribute to that legacy. And that's maybe a route as some people get older, they may want to go to, if they don't want to do it right now, because you could always convert to it later.
Yes, that's what I've done. That's what I've done. I wasn't, you know, we're still. I don't know if it's egotistical is the right word, but you're still wanting to do for us, you know. And nothing against anybody that I'm not saying that. It's just I knew it was going down, and to hand something down to your kids, you want to do it the right way, and the way the voting is, and the meetings, and everything being kept up, it keeps everybody involved that deserves to be involved, versus just somebody's name on a piece of paper that's next in line, you know.
Right. So to rewind a little bit, because I meant to ask you a little bit of this in the introduction, but on the mat company, you said you sold that to 300 schools, and I have a software company, right? So I have a red belt software. So we sell it's a CRM billing communication module for martial arts schools. So I know what selling to martial arts schools is a lot, and you're talking about in a reasonably narrow time frame. You sold a very high ticket offer, right? So Matt's, what's the average a school paid, right?
Uh, $5,000.
5 grand. Okay, so that's cheap for Matt's, but like, so what's the
Yeah.
high end? 5 to
25.
5,000 to
25,000.
for 45,000. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's a lot of money for a martial arts school owner, especially a reopening or a new martial arts school owner. So you're making 300 very high ticket sales in a short amount of time. So for people that don't know, that's pretty impressive as well. So let's talk about how did you reach those guys?
Man, Alan Belcher's a monster with that, dude.
Did
He was,
he help you with that?
yeah, I was part of the combat business.
I was the second customer. I'm still networked with him. I'm networked with all the people, right?
Oh yeah, he's a monster, dude. He's a monster. I really seriously just followed his plan to a T. Everything that he said, I did. Woke up, did the videos. Woke up, did the lives.
So
You
you were
could go back.
using social media marketing to find the people.
Yes, all social media marketing. Didn't even have a website. I was just third party.
Organic or ads? Organic or ads?
Mainly organic. Mainly organic, live videos. If you crack through your Facebook page, you see how many people are associated with jiu-jitsu, right? You see how many people are that, and you can reach out and touch a lot of people if you build your social media page to that. And hence what we started about the Mike Jits fence. I had already had that intuition kind of in the beginning, so I was already doing these live videos for my fence company and doing these small things. So on my personal page, I was already attracting those higher algorithms. I didn't even know it, right? I was just doing this new marketing, you know. I was doing it with my gym, so I was doing it with my fence company, doing it with my gym, doing fence. I'm like, shit, this shit works, you know. And I sold a lot of fence too. Probably a lot of fence on doing marketing like that. It works. Social media marketing works. It's just the times are different now. You have AI, dude. It's like, why build content? You're wasting your time right now building content. I don't mean to get off subject on you. If you could revert back, but it's changed. It used to take a lot of work, and it took like a little bit of a niche and an artwork in yourself to come up with the right content. But now, man, I've done a tracking on my own content. And I used to be pretty good about it, I thought. And you see, if I do an AI, I'll do like a beta side by side, you know, and I'll run an AI and then I'll run one of my own. And it's like the AI completely makes me get like slapped in the face by Alan. Like, this ain't good enough, you know?
Right. Yeah. So but you're talking about the copywriting, right? So not the going live,
No,
etc.
yeah, just the copy sets. Yeah, just the copy
Right.
sets.
So were you doing a lot of images and copy, or were you doing like videos and videos, lives, things like that?
Mainly live videos. Mainly
Okay,
live
well,
videos.
AI right now, AI can't do much in that to compete with you, because people, yeah, you actually can have AI make art, right? But it's not going to compete with a real person talking to people, right? So
Correct.
currently,
Good
I'm
point.
not saying one day AI isn't in that niche too, but currently that's AI can't touch you right there. But yeah, there is definitely ways that have AI write copy, and it's pretty good about it, and it's not
It's
really getting punished. But like Google says, they basically don't care about punishing it. They
at
just
all.
put content
At
out there.
all,
Yeah,
bro.
they don't care at all.
They don't care at all.
Yeah.
And they know it's AI. They can tell it's AI.
Oh yeah, they know. Half the time it's made by Bard. It's made by their AI.
Yeah.
So like they don't care.
That's why they don't care. I pulled all my, bro. I've recently, you'll think this is nuts, but I've pulled all my ad set off of Google and Facebook and everything right now, and I've gone to grassroots, like billboards and cultural. So it's kind of against everything we're just talking about right now. Right now that I've done in the gym, but it's because I'm to a point where I'm almost at a waiting list. You know what I mean? And I don't need to flood the gym. So I think that's a when you get to that point, it's different, right? You need to build those numbers and get to 125, 15. I want 150 total. We're at like 124 or something. When I get to there, it's just a waiting list. So the money I'm saving on not having to run ads right now, just doing organic stuff, is helping me out tenfolds with that.
you definitely have lot different vision and approach than a lot of people here, but I think there's a lot to take away from it. The fact that you did, which would I did a little bit of math on my calculator real quick. You did some sort of 7-figure number really quickly in a startup, just hobby business on organic alone is really impressive in sales to and like I know these guys, and I love gym owners. That's why I'm trying to do like a podcast and for gym owners, work with gym owners. I'm making a company, like that's what drove me to make Red Belt, to help, like, because I didn't like these guys in this space and I wanted to do better. But that said, I love gym owners. However, these guys can be hard to work with. So the fact that you made high ticket sales, you did like millions. You did 7-figure number in a year, 2 years, like really quickly.
3-year span.
Okay, really quickly to like out of nothing is impressive, because it's unfortunately a very scarcity minded industry. It's an industry where a lot of people don't have a lot of business background. They're very it's fear based. Generally, they don't want to like make the big investments in things and ads and whatever to and they instead want to just cut costs down. And I know mats are an essential, but like it's also not a thing you buy all the time either. So right. That would have mean you would have did you sell mainly in the BJJ space?
Yes.
Yeah. So you had a lot of percentage of the market share at that time if you sold to BJJ gyms.
Correct.
Yeah, a lot of percentage of market share, because there's not, I mean, I've bought mats one time so far. I'm coming up on 10 years open, right? So it's not at some point I'll probably buy again, but it's not like a every year thing. So you're getting a lot of it. So it's all organic. That's so tell us, give us an example, organic, like, so it's obviously not sales pitch after sales pitch. You're doing some sort of value content. Give us an example of your lives or your videos.
They were more most of them were more about installs, like doing installs, you know what I mean, about and people like mats on the way, shipping out, people receiving, sending me pictures of receiving. It was those posts that did it, I think, more than anything. They know that guy and that guy knows that guy, you know what I mean, you know how it works.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, one, you're documenting the process like Gary Vee style. Easy to make more content that way. And then also, yeah, you're using basically referrals. Because you're using these guys, this person got it. All right, that's cool. So did you?
Yeah, like we did GoCore, which is Ronda Rousey's a grappling coach, right?
I know exactly. Yeah. I know exactly who GoCore is.
Okay, so yeah, he bought, and you get a couple of big names like that, then you're good, you know. But what happens on the flips? I mean, that's great. What I would tell people, anytime you can lock down something like that, make sure you have it locked down, because what happens is the manufacturing company that started seeing how much money you're making, right? And you go from making $40 a mat to $30 a mat, to $22 a mat, to $10 a mat, to $4 a mat, to $6 a mat. You know what I mean? And you're like, wow, okay, I had a good thing here. That was rolling pretty good. So but that's business. I've learned. I've talked to a lot of people, and even when there's friendships involved, and there was friendships involved. So yeah, make sure you lock your product.
I will say this also, though: he who can drive the sales has a place in the industry. And so these guys may think that, all right, they think, oh man, I see all that, because this happens in jiu-jitsu schools too sometimes. You'll have this coach and he sees that you've got 400 students, and he teaches all these people, and you pay him what you think is fair, but he wants the gross, right? He wants the 7 figures, right? Yeah. And so he goes off, right? He goes off. And he takes some people with him. But what he doesn't understand, like, this is a story many people have had, like, he goes off and he takes a handful of people with him. But what the size of your gym is equal to basically the number of, so for instance, if your churn rate is 10% and you sign up 10 people a month, your gym will go up or down to 100, right? Because at 100, that's where it's going to, like, so it's the processes of your business dictated. So you built that thing, and like, so they think that they can do it. But if you have the process and systems and they do the fulfillment fulfillment works for whoever has the processing systems, right? So, because it may seem easy to us. Oh yeah, I just make this ad, make that. Well, they clearly weren't doing it. That's why they needed you. So I will say that, yeah, I mean, sometimes the spaces get tough and things like that. But yeah, if you have some sort of, you could always go to a different manufacturer or something like that. Costs may have changed. I don't know your situation. I do understand why you wanted to get out of it, because you're like, you feel like you're good. You don't want anything else. And you're mainly just doing jiu-jitsu in a nonprofit. You're going that direction. But for the viewers, it's like, man, my whole point on a lot of this is many of these guys think that if you're a BJJ coach, aka the fulfillment, that that's all you need. But it's the opposite. It's he who has the business and can make the systems. That's who the real owner is.
Oh man, I mean, I can speak on that just for myself as being, as I'm not no world. I opened my school as a purple belt in Houston, man. I was actually in South Houston and Alvin. The only reason why it was successful was because I had Alan Belcher's systems in place, right? That we followed the system and we grinded, and that's what it was. You know, we didn't. We weren't just selling jiu-jitsu. I was at first, and I didn't have hardly no members prior to COVID. We are almost 160 members in Houston. You know, so that's it's just if you have that, you're completely right. If people like that, people like the organization as well. They like to see that everything that works, it falls to place. You follow your schedule on time. All those systems in place for sure. People like the organization of a lead coming in, like it going through the CRM. They like the return text messages and all that. You know, so definitely. I use a CRM myself, but I always like to automate everything. I don't have any staff, man, at all. My phone's at 1%. I was trying to find a charger, but so I might have to plug it in somewhere here real quick.
Yeah, that's I'm a big fan of that. That's my company, Red Belt. We do stuff like that. We also do stuff having to do with not just text and emails, but phone calls and stuff too. So
yeah, no, that's awesome, man. And that's what matters. Those are all those extra calls, all that extra stuff. Is there a charger? No. That's all that's what really matters is being able to do those things, because people want to see that and hear that. Let me go here. I gotta go to my truck.
all right, so organic marketing. So that's an important idea. There's several different ways you can get leads. I mean, social media. I know several different people. Some of them that was from that group. There's different BJJ business groups, but like in general, that's definitely, I know people outside the space too that have made, like, use social media as a tool. It could definitely be a huge crutch, but have used it as a huge tool to fuel their business. So that's a super powerful point. I'll probably have a podcast with someone later who we focus just on that. I think Mike's going to his truck to get a charger now. You still with us, Mike, or you need a little bit? What's also interesting is I recently did another podcast with a different Mike Sanford, and he also had something happen mid podcast, and we're redoing that one. But yeah, it's been good so far. I guess we'll go ahead and wrap this piece up. And it's too bad because there was a couple really cool topics that I wanted to get with Mike, because he's done lots of cool things going into what he does right now. But we can maybe do a second piece of it later. Thanks so much, guys. And we might patch another one in here in a little bit.